Okay, hi everybody, and thanks for the last minute join on Zoom. There's apparently a big event going on, and they actually wanted to use our room. So that's why we're on Zoom. And also a reminder that we're going to have Zoom next month as well, because there's also an event next month. So yeah. So the meeting is called to order, and the first thing we would like to do is to review the minutes, and I'll bring them up if I can do that. So here are our minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, changes to the minutes? I assume everybody had a chance.
No change. Yeah, no changes.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Do I have-
fine. Thank
Do I have
you.
a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so we approve the minutes. And at this point, do we have any public comment? Reminder that you can comment throughout the meeting as well. And what you'll have to do is raise your hand if you want to comment. And then you'll be able to speak as soon as Ian gives you speaking privileges. So would anyone like to speak right now? The raised hand is at the bottom of your screen. All right, so then we'll continue. And there are a few announcements. Donnell said that the environmental survey can be closed and then presented to the board. So last I looked, which was just a few days ago, it is still open. So I don't know what the status is now, but apparently she's had quite a few participants, and then she will collate the information and present it to the board. So I don't have timing on that. The second announcement is, I don't know if any of you are seeing it because it's the very last thing even below the address, but on the weekly newsletter, our little earth-friendly tips are continuing, which I've been sending every month. And so every week is a different tip. So I'm starting to run out of thoughts and ideas. So they're only supposed to be a sentence or two. So if you can think of something, and the whole list is there on our website. So if you don't know what was done so far, if you can think of something else, I'd really appreciate if you could send me some tips. Then just a third thing that I don't have on the agenda, but we did finally add the Birdtown logo and link to the website. So that's been achieved. And does anyone else have any more announcements or comments on these? Nope, no one else. Okay, thank you. So we're going to skip to number 6 because Eugenia once has to leave a little early, and we wanted to go over this because she and I have been working on this together, and that's about our yard campaign. And the one thing I did send it to you. I got some comments from Dan, and I don't know about any others. And I did want to go over. So what we have to do apparently is to present our program or campaign or initiative to the board for approval before we go on with this. And opening, the first event is going to be Earth Day, but that's sort of independent of the campaign. That's just, we hope to use Earth Day to launch it, our initiative, our program. I should call it a program, not a campaign. It's a program. But anything else as far as the signs and so forth, we do need approval for. So I will bring up I did send it to you, the little PowerPoint I put together, and Eugenia worked on this with me. And yeah. So what we can do is just go through it, and if you have something to add or change or some suggestion, then I can actually make it right on here. So first of all is the name of it. I was calling it earth friendly, but someone suggested we use the word most often used, which I looked up. It seems to be eco-friendly. Does anyone have a strong feeling about this one way or the other?
I like earth friendly.
You like earth friendly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I chose too, but does anyone want to break? Well, there's two for earth friendly here. Does anyone else have preference?
No.
No?
And I don't have a strong preference. I was leaning toward eco-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was kind of too, but
And I think earth is just, every yard is earth. So I was just thinking.
That's
I mean,
one way to look at it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I just think eco-friendly yard management to me just kind of had a better implication than just earth-friendly.
Okay.
That
yeah,
was
I
my
kind of-
limited
I kind of
rationale.
agree with that as well.
Okay. Well, it looks like we have more for eco-friendly. I think Eugenia, you favored that too, didn't you?
I think so, but I'm fine with either.
Okay. Well, we'll go to eco-friendly. We'll go with the majority. Ear-friendly. Okay. All right. So anything else about this first slide? This is just what I'm covering in the slides. Any other comments?
Like that.
Okay. So just a little background on the lawns. These are actually two shots, Google shots from Radnor Township. I thought I'd throw in there. And some statistics that I got off of the actual Radnor website. I think 5 to 6% of land. I'm not going to read this all. You've all read it. So just a little background.
It might be interesting to of the 65%, I'd be, and I don't know if we have this, but how many are zoned R1 where they're theoretically 1 acre lots or something to that effect?
I didn't look for that. I could look for it. Yeah. Melissa or Moira, do you know the answer to that?
I mean, that would take some, I don't think we have that answer at our
Okay.
fingertips. It would take some digging into the
Okay. It's not that essential.
zoning
Yeah,
layout.
right. If it's something that we had readily available, then it might help paint the picture. And
Happy
because
to
to me,
Yeah.
we're targeting R1 type residents. We're really
Well, I
not
think we're targeting everybody because,
Yeah,
like here in the little plots where I live, they're tiny, but people are throwing all kind of pesticides and stuff on them.
yeah, that's
And,
true.
they're just as harmful as a bigger residence when
Okay.
you add them up. Yeah.
Yeah, the small homes in my neighborhood, they all have lawn service.
Yeah.
They don't work their own yards.
Right. And some services are just cutting, but some are doing other things too. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else? And then, some of the problems with lawns I put here as far as, water requirements, which in this area maybe is not that big a deal, but the lawn chemicals are, of course, are a huge deal. And even though lawns need water, they're not good at absorbing heavy rains. And then, of course, the lawn maintenance, which is a huge problem. I thought these were some kind of nice statistics comparing the gas-powered leaf blowers with a Ford Monster and a Fiat 500. And there, you can just look down the line and see the much higher numbers with our leaf blowers. So, yeah. So I thought that might impress a little bit.
No, this is excellent, Margie.
Okay. And then just little pictures. This not from Radnor Township, but I got, just pictures. And then this was, Eugenia's working on a little handout thing, and this was from it. But so solution, and these are things we've talked about many times, things that people can do. And all of this we're going to promote, on our literature and our, hopefully our website as well, once we start this program.
Okay, well, excuse me, can I go back?
Yeah.
The first, okay, we have to realize that this is a major paradigm shift for many, many people in our township.
Right.
And you're not only asking them to let their lawn go natural without fertilizers or herbicides, insecticides, but you're also asking them to use electric equipment. But the last bullet, and where you say especially replace grass with native plants, bushes, and trees. This, I mean, I 100% agree with this. The thing is, in terms of receptivity of the overall program, this will be a showstopper, I think, for most people. They're already, especially the ones with lawn service, they're not invested in their yards. So you're asking them to plant new native plants and bushes and trees and maintain them. So the amount of energy and time you're asking of the homeowner to do this is going to be far more than for the same plot of land in grass. So although I very much agree with what you're saying here, I would replace, especially with ultimately, maybe.
Okay. That's fair.
Or that's a very good point. Or it doesn't have to be a complete replacement, right? It could be a gradual,
Yes.
right? Transition. Or you could say consider replacing or begin to replace. There's ways to say it doesn't mean in one fell swoop the whole yard is gone. So it's sort of a transitional plan.
Yeah, gradual replacement.
Gradual.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not even entirely replacement as much as it is creating a zone of native plants.
Or you could simply say reduce grass with native.
Yeah,
plants.
reduce. It is reduce. Yeah, we're not going to eliminate.
And
we will never eliminate. Yeah.
Just going to back up to the third one, we're not asking them to stop using fertilizers and pesticides. We're asking them to consider stop using chemical ones. There are natural ones out there, as well as chemical ones. It's the chemical ones, particularly the pesticides, that are just so dangerous. So there are options out there, and quite frankly, whether they, do their own gardening or bring a service in, you can ask the service to not use chemicals. They also provide natural ones, and depending on the size of the lawn, believe it or not, I am seeing more, because I'm sort of in this area, I am seeing more firms, more contractors trying to use either electric lawnmowers or battery. Obviously, if you have a huge yard, it's difficult, but they can do this. These subcontractors have and are growing the ability of actually advertising themselves as such. So,
right. Are we somewhere offering replacements for chemical fertilizers and pesticides? Is that in the slides? I don't recall.
Well, it says avoid.
Avoid chemical
Well,
fertilizer.
yes, but as Eugenia, I think, who said, there are nature.
Well, this is just a presentation to the board as to what we want to emphasize. This isn't complete information. This is not meant to be like, give every nuance of it. And,
Well, all I'm saying is, again, there's going to be pushback if they say, oh, we're not going to be able.
this is just an educational initiative. This is not an ordinance. We're not proposing an ordinance.
This is a volunteer program.
Yeah, this is
Do it,
just
don't do it. Yeah.
education. I wish it were an ordinance, but we're not even going to go there yet. That's something that will be a losing battle at this point, I think. No, this is just an educational thing. So people don't have to do this. It's just letting them know.
That's not what I'm saying is that you're saying avoid the chemicals.
Right.
It would just be nice to add that there are healthy alternatives.
Oh, I mean, just
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's a good idea.
We-
Not recommending use Acme natural stuff. No recommendations. Just say there are, natural ones.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not opposed to a recommendation. I mean, I think we should research it and have the way that I look at this is if the board is accepting an educational initiative, then I sort of expect the township to abide by this as well. It's not a resolution, but the township's the one that controls all of the parks and what they put onto the parks. So we need to think about that. And
Okay, well, that definitely is something, Eugenia, we can put in our little handout. This is just to let the board know what we're doing is the only point of these slides.
Right.
Yeah.
Have we done a focus group or any kind of tried to poll some of the local people just to get some feedback from some of the homeowners?
No. We haven't.
Might be interesting to see the survey results in this area.
Yeah,
And you can
hopefully,
reflect those.
yeah. Mhm.
Right. It was touched on, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what people say. This is obviously not, something like Dan said, everybody's familiar with, and it's a very different perspective. You need to change your mind as to what you think is beautiful and everything. But this is like a first little attempt at letting people know there's a better way, there's a better way.
Okay.
out there.
And all I'm saying is on this slide, say there are healthy.
Oh, you want that on this slide?
Yeah,
too?
yeah, that's all. There are.
You can say consider.
Consider natural alternatives.
Okay,
Or there are natural alternatives.
I don't really know what they are, but.
Right,
I
and
guess
that's
common
right.
order.
And neither do I. So in a way, this is why it should be there, because we gotta quickly scramble and see how commercially available they are.
Right.
This is a tiny point. I would remove the exclamation points and just put a period there, or actually looks like you don't have,
Yeah, okay.
remove the punctuation.
Right. We can't appear too preachy.
Anything else? Okay. So I guess here we could say,
Reduce, maybe.
well,
Reduce.
and I would say require less mowing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Jenkins Arboretum would be more than happy to advise what trees, bushes, and plants.
Yeah, because people are gonna want, like, where do I get what, what are native, what,
Right.
where do I get
So-
them?
And
Like,
this is part of the reason why I wanted to start this with our native plant giveaway, because then hopefully we'll have other information by that time. I mean, I already have a bunch of handouts that we've made before on this subject. And, this will help steer people in the right direction. Of course, everybody's got Google, right?
You would just say native plants, southeastern Pennsylvania,
Right.
Right.
or go to your local, wherever you buy your plants, what are native?
Yeah.
Have we talked to Jenkins Arboretum or any other arboretum
Yeah.
about our native plant giveaway?
No,
Let them know.
we're doing this with Radnor Conservancy, and
Okay.
Gretchen is here in the public. Maybe she'll speak then after this.
because I think they give away trees. I don't think they give away plants.
Yes, they do, and they are, and we are. They're doing this. Actually, Gretchen is, leading this. She's the one that's made the orders and everything, from Radnor Conservancy. So, yes. And we sort of piggybacked in on it.
Well, we could make a plug for the Arboretum, just, okay.
So we want to change this. So this is just the sort of the mechanics of it. This is the one I haven't read. Do we want to change this? Now, the signs are the signs are the major educational tool that we're starting with, and it's to show that what a really eco-friendly yard looks like. So we don't want someone with just 10%. It has to be something substantial, because this is an award. They're getting an eco-friendly award. So Eugenia and I discussed this and thought 50% would be good. These are obviously, the poster children of yards.
Well, do we know people already who have such?
Oh, I do. I know. So
Okay.
I don't think one of our members of the public, Sarah, she's got it 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Mark,
Well,
let me ask just a quick question that I don't think maybe I understood or that we spoke about. I just can't remember. Are we awarding flags to people who make a changeover, or who already have?
That way. Yeah, they're that way. Mhm.
Okay.
This is just like when you're walking along or driving by, and you might look at it and think, oh, they have a messy yard, but then you see they have an award for being an eco-friendly yard. So this is to change people's perspective on, what is a great yard.
Okay.
Great, 50% of yard. Boy, that's a major, that's a lot of digging. Should we set it so high?
Well, I don't know. What does the group think?
Maybe reduce it to 40%.
I mean, it's going to be subjective anyway,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. It's either
Say
25% or
major- What about
50%.
majority?
Well, that would be even more than 50% then.
We could even just say a large portion, because 50% of a small yard may, be different than
Right.
50% of a large, it could, it depends on the property. Plus, it kind of depends on what's visible to the road.
Right, absolutely.
So if the entirety of your road facing property is
This will be
friendly,
strictly what you can see. Mhm.
yeah.
Should we change this to a large portion?
I think, unless we're going to be out there measuring how much of the percentages, I think something like that is probably fine. And that gives us some flexibility,
Right.
but
Yeah, it's going to be that way it's going to be more subjective as to who qualifies.
Yeah.
Or you could say maybe significant portion of the yard.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Or substantial. Significant is actually okay.
Yeah.
and in the next line, it should be eco-friendly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, both lines.
Oh, yeah.
and then, and I apologize, I haven't been here in a while, but for that last bullet, is the eco-friendly yard team Radnor EAC folks, and are we qualified to do that?
Well, the next slide will say who's on the team that's going to make the judges
Okay.
judge it. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, anyone have other suggestions here besides having this as the team?
This may be something that a business, I don't know if we want to go down that road, but local businesses that sell native plants may want to be on the team so that they can provide their advice about plants or, but I don't know if that would be kind of a.
Well, maybe
Yes.
this is where Dan's Jenkins would come in. Do you think anybody from there would be interested, Dan?
Yeah, they would certainly be, I would think they'd be advisors, but I like the idea of a commercial outfit being a member, because again, it facilitates, there's a connection now for the public to talk to people selling these plants and trees. Yeah, I guess we're giving them a lot of business over other suppliers.
Well, that's an issue with, and I don't know the answer to this. How many, plant sellers and places,
Right.
nurseries and gardens do we have in Radnor? You can't say to one, you want to be on it and not the others. I think it's getting into that's why I said earlier, I wouldn't want to list any manufacturers of natural pesticides. I wouldn't want to get those people involved because they'd be like, well, I want to be on it. I want to be on it. Your favorite.
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't think as a township representative, we can even do that.
Well, I think that the idea of having someone from Jenkins Arboretum, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So
Yeah.
let's replace that with like Jenkins or what
about
else?
Arboretum representative.
Yeah, yeah,
And what about the Radnor Conservancy? Do we
right.
do we get a rep?
I have-
Do we get a rep?
That would be Gretchen. We'll have to hear from Gretchen then. Yeah. Garden or Conservancy representative. Yeah. All right. Did I spell that right? Is there a C in there? No.
Yeah, that looks good.
The 250 has already been approved. This, obviously we we won't get until our program here gets approved. So, yeah, I thought we ought to start small because, try a little pilot program, see how it goes.
So the flags are $20 a piece.
Approximately, I went on the web and tried to price these out. The flag is about 10 and then the little stand is about 8 or 10. I've looked around, you can get cheaper things, but I don't think people want to put some cheap, crummy looking thing on their yard, in their yard.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just, that's it. So.
Margie, going
Yeah.
back, the very first slide, we need to change at the bottom. Very first one, blah, 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 blah. Earth friendly to eco friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll post this again and you can look at it some more and see if there's anything else, you want to add. I want to check now. I can't see it when I'm screen sharing. I want to check if any member of the public wants to speak now. So does anyone want to raise their hand that would like to speak?
We have one hand raised, Philip Whitmore,
Okay, Philip.
known to speak.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Phil Whitmer. I'm with Birdtown, Pennsylvania. And Gretchen can speak to this as well because we really partner with the Conservancy to move our programs forward in Radnor. Radnor is a bird town, and so all of the resources that we have would be available to you. We can offer to do trainings that focus on some of the things that you're talking about. We can provide literature. We have on our webpage, I encourage you all to go to birdtownpa.org. And you can find lots of resources there that any of your citizens could go to and start on the great journey of learning about the value of native plants and how to go about getting them in your yard. So we're very happy that you guys are doing this, and we'd love to be an asset for you in moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Phil. And let us know if you want to be a member of the judging team.
Well,
I don't want to put you on the spot. We'll talk later about that.
Okay, between my wife and I'm the bird person and she's the plant person, so I won't
Okay.
speak for her.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. And I want to just take this moment to say welcome back to Lisa. Lisa was on maternity leave, and since you left for a few months, we got 2 new members, Eugenia Warnock and Carol Jane are 2 members, and Lisa is our longer standing member who had a baby.
Thank you so much. And it's really nice to meet you, Eugenia and Carol Jane. I'm happy to be back, and it looks like you guys have been busy, which is very wonderful.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I have like a sort of approval of that presentation pending maybe some little minor changes? I don't think we have to vote on this, but just kind of a nod of approval.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I
Agreed.
start.
Great.
great. Thank you so much.
And Margie, just one question. Will we find out before you hand it in or show it whether it's going to be plants we're giving out or literally trees, small
No,
trees?
it's plants, and we're going to talk about
Plants.
that in the next
Okay,
item.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so that is our next item, is the Earth Day initiatives. And the first one is the native plant giveaway. And this was, like I said before, we're actually piggybacking on Radnor Conservancy's, something they were kind of planning anyway, a native plant giveaway. And I met with Gretchen, and we have some very definite plans. I mean, it was like 95% her suggestions because I don't know that much about it. So we're doing it together, and we've split the costs, and so Gretchen is putting together a poster to advertise the plant giveaway. I meant to bring that up, and I don't have that in the queue now. It'll take me too long to find, but I will show that to you then. And it will be held at the Township building instead of the Willows, because there were other things going on at the Willows. And Gretchen has held events at the Township building before. We actually will be in that little section, you know, right by the entrance to the Township building, that little circle area there. And there will be 250 plants total. People will be asked to sign up for it, and it will be maximum of 2 plants per family. So I don't know if Gretchen, you want to say something here or not? Raise your hand if you would like to. Okay, yes, Gretchen.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So done a native plant giveaway before. We've done native plant sales. So so the Conservancy is doing our native plant sale in May, but you know, I had a really nice conversation with Margaret, and we decided that, you know, this would be, you know, giving away you know, this amount of native plants would be a nice introduction for residents, getting them familiar with a couple of different varieties of native plants, and, you know, sending them on their way with a little bit of literature. It would just be a nice thing to do, and not crazy expensive. And it was nice that the Township is helping the Conservancy a little bit with the cost of the plant. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Yeah, and we decided that we would offer five different varieties, and I
actually have the pictures here I can bring up then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any questions for me? Because I have to jump off the call in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to, if anyone had any questions, I just wanted to be here to answer them.
Is the literature, you know, is it information about native plants, or, you know, along those lines?
I mean, I haven't figured out with Margaret what you know, like little one page literature, you know, that we would send someone home with. But yes, it would when they're going home with their native plant, the literature would be about the benefits of native plants.
Great.
Okay, thank you, Gretchen.
Sure.
And then, so we all know when Earth Day is, but we need to have some volunteers from the group to help pot them, because they come as little plugs, and we're going to put them in pots. And that will be held on April 16th, which is a Sunday from 1 to 3. And I was wondering, so I'll be at that in Gretchen, but we could use 2 or 3 more volunteers to help plot it.
I can help. I'll help.
Dan, okay.
I can
great.
help.
Who said that?
Eugenia.
Oh, Eugenia.
I'd love to be able to help too.
That was Jerry. Okay, that would be great. So it looks like we have enough people then.
And I could help on the 22nd if you need volunteers.
No, it's this Gretchen chose the 26th.
Oh, the
Oh,
20
the 16th, the 16th. Yeah. The
No,
16th.
but for the actual event.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully a number of us can show up on the Earth Day itself. Yeah.
This would be at the Willows. We'd be potting them.
We would be potting them. We're not, oh, I think it might, I'm not sure yet. It might be at
Okay.
Gretchen's. It might be at Gretchen's house.
Okay.
I have to double check that with her. Yeah. Oh, Gretchen, you have your hand
Yeah,
up?
I'm still here.
Okay,
Can you still hear me?
yes.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Yes, it is at my house, but I didn't want to broadcast my address to the entire township. So
Right.
I can, Margaret can send that to you guys separately.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we will move on to so updates from the green team. Dan,
Yeah, well, just 2 things. Really, the first is an update on the RFP for a energy audit done on the municipal buildings. Melissa, is there any update on, has it been posted on PenBid or where we could view it? The actual proposal?
No, it hasn't been posted yet. And I think the last communications we had, I explained that we were going to be rolling the energy audit into a larger building feasibility study RFP. So our engineer is working on combining the 2 RFPs together. The plan is to have that posted tomorrow. And then it will be, we'll invite a number of firms to submit proposals for it.
Right, so it'll be on PenBid. Would the public be able to view it? Like you can view a general
We weren't going to open up to the public, but that's something that I can discuss with township staff as to if we want to have it posted publicly. We were only going to invite, a number of firms to participate in this
Right.
RFP.
It'd just be nice if members of the green team could at least see it and just see what the township is asking
Sure.
done.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
The second thing was an email I sent to Melissa and Margie back February 17th. Robin Mann, who's on the green team, had reminded me of the Inflation Reduction Act, which in it is a various incentives for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving energy efficiency within homes. So what I proposed is that the EAC work with the township to launch some kind of public education campaign on the IRA benefits. For example, there's a high efficiency electric home rebate act, which provides federal tax credits and point of sale rebates for electrification projects and appliances for homes. These include cold climate heat pumps and certainly indoor appliances in our homes. There's actually a Rewiring American calculator that was in my email that you can see how much you would get back in incentives, up to $14,000 for low-income households and 50% of costs up to $14,000 for moderate income households. And a moderate income household would be a family of four, for example, with $120,000 household income. So they could earn up to $25,000 in federal tax credits and rebates. And the second was the Greenhouse Reduction Fund, which similarly provides financial and technical assistance, particularly for builders and developers doing retrofit projects in low income and disadvantaged communities. And the last thing was the new energy efficient home credit, which is providing a credit to developers of $5,000 who build homes that qualify for the Department of Energy's Zero Energy Ready Home Standard. So this is a far-reaching program that we should take advantage of. And it's going to be rolling out this summer for the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, particularly. I think the discounts and credits in the High Efficiency Electric Home Rebate Act you can take advantage of now. So we'd have to work with Molly clearly and how to what ways we could get the word out and remind people that this is there.
Yeah, Dan, a starter would be if, you would like to make a nice list of things and we could just add it to our EAC website. I think that would be good to show up there. So that would be something we could start with. I mean, some of that information is really useful.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
I don't see any reason why, we can't add that at least to our website and then go from there as far as, how we want to, advertise this information.
Yeah, I was even proposing putting something in people's tax bills. I mean, that much. So I've heard that.
That could have a negative connotation.
Well, not really. If we're talking about paying taxes, but at the same time, you're getting a chance for improving your home and getting a rebate tax credit. So,
Dan, although that's a great idea, we have recently received a couple of requests for using that mailing as a way to market some initiatives. And so I just recently got news that all of the mailings for the year have gone out. So it wouldn't be a viable option this year.
No, I realize that because I've received my bill already. And so, yeah, but this program will be hopefully viable a year from now. So it is something that I hope we still are able to consider a year from now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it could be, an option, but I do like the idea of putting that type of information on the website.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many people look at the website. Do we have any idea?
It gets quite a bit of use. So, and there's a portion at the top that, the front page that rotates with sort of the most current news items. So it could be,
Okay,
it could have
all right.
prime spot for some period of time before it kind of gets rotated down.
Right.
So we can work with Molly and Ian, but help with the content would be great.
Yep, sure. Yeah, it'd be full of links to the federal
Yeah,
websites.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, thank you. The next update was on composting, but I don't think we have an update on that, do we? No. So there are a bunch of new things that have been brought up. And one, I guess, Lisa, was that you about the car idling? Yeah, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. We had gotten an email in the fall, right before I left for maternity leave. So unfortunately, it got punted a little bit, but from a concerned member, resident in the township who had been dealing with car idling issues. And it was a very brief email, so I don't know if the main concern was emissions or sound, but they were concerned and just wanted to know whether we had an ordinance that specifically prohibited cars from idling. So I did a little bit of looking, and I don't think we do, but I did report back, and I copied you all on the message that we do have ordinances, kind of dealing with some of the potential issues that she might have been concerned about, but nothing that specifically restricts idling of cars in the township. On the state level, there are idling restrictions for large vehicles that are more than 10,000 pounds, but that no car or even an SUV would qualify. So if the concern is about cars, that would not come into play. So I guess, for our purposes here, I don't know, I wanted it to be on the record. I think it's a good idea. I'm curious if any other members of the public have concerns about cars idling in the township, because this is the first I've heard of someone who was concerned. I don't know if this is a widespread or a more widespread issue that we should be thinking about, whether we do need to, potentially update the ordinances to prevent problems that are associated with car idling or not. So I guess I just wanted to put it out there and see if anybody else has heard anything or thinks that this might be worth thinking about more at this time. Otherwise, I did, provide what information I had to the resident and invited them to come speak at our meetings if they wanted to discuss the issue more.
I have heard about other towns and municipalities having idling issues. I'm thinking, and I can look it up, possibly more in more urban areas. But I think it's worth looking at. I mean, I swear any time of day we have a FedEx truck or an Amazon truck idling on our street.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll be able to avoid that.
No, but I'm just, I think other cities and little towns are looking at this. That's all I can add to it.
I think, that's kind of where we are in society right now, is that people get a lot of packages delivered. So there is going to be some of that. And again, the original email really didn't have a lot of details. So I don't know if that's the type of vehicle that they're concerned about or not. Hopefully, she'll let us know, some more detail. She said cars. So I think, my guess is that, this is a different issue, and maybe she just lives on a really busy street. So I guess that's why I'm throwing it out there, because I haven't noticed it on my street, but
it may be that, there are a couple of schools that would have a car line.
Yeah, the school
Parents
line.
waiting for children. I'd be a little hesitant to start, dropping the hammer on people picking up children.
Yeah.
I can't think of a place in the township where in any other kind of common situation where you might have multiple idling cars, except for something like a church or a school. But
The most offensive is diesel trucks. Anyone sits behind a diesel truck and
Mhm.
commercial delivery trucks. I've been a resident for 30 years, and I haven't noticed it as a problem.
Me
But
neither.
hopefully car electrification will address part of it.
Yeah, and so just to address the truck issue, so Pennsylvania has a prohibition on owners and operators of any diesel-powered motor vehicle with a gross vehicle weight of 10,001 pounds or more engaged in commerce from causing the engine of the vehicle to idle for more than 5 minutes in any continuous 6-minute period.
Okay.
So they're limited to 5 minutes in 1 hour. So I guess it's good that, people know that if that is a problem for the bigger diesel powered vehicles. For the cars, the only thing that I could find in the township is there's a prohibition on causing, allowing, or permitting the emission of any noxious or offensive odor from an air contamination source. So that doesn't really get at all of the potential issues that, I don't know if there's a noise issue or, there's not always an odor necessarily, with car emissions anymore.
Right.
So, there's certainly room for improvement, but it doesn't sound from what I'm hearing here. It sounds like people generally seem to feel how I feel, that this isn't a pressing issue in our township that we need to address right now, but we can probably keep an eye on it. And if other people come forward, we can revisit this in the future.
Okay, Lisa, that sounds good. Okay, and then I heard from a representative from the League of Women Voters about an issue of leaded paint in some Radnor Township houses, specifically rental houses, and whether we wanted to look into that. But the last I heard was that it was also going to be introduced to the health board, the Radnor Township Health Council. I forget the official name of it. So I don't know if anything further. Does anyone have any info about this? You have to wait and find out if, it's something we can talk to the health board about and collaborate on or what. I was unaware of this issue.
Is there a statewide ruling on lead exposure in rental homes?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll have to wait to hear back from her. Yeah. I just thought someone might have heard something on this. Okay, and then the next thing is I got an email about Darby Creek cleanup, looking for volunteers. So I don't have the specifics on it, but if you or someone are interested in, let me know. They have this every year and they typically get a lot of volunteers. I know a lot of my college students used to volunteer because I made them volunteer as part of my sustainability class. And they were forced volunteers. So I think it's a pretty well attended event, but I don't know, Jerry, you might like to, spread it among your peers, whether they'd be interested. And I can give you the information, or the Darby Creek cleanup is on the web too. Does anyone know anything else about this?
Yeah, there's been a growing interest in volunteer opportunities at Radnor High School. So
okay.
yeah, if you could send me that link, I can think of 10,
Okay.
15 people who'd love to participate.
Yeah, it's fun to muck around in there. Yeah. Okay, and then I had a question from someone, and I think that person is here in the public, about the Radnor Trail contamination. And I was also, many things I'm unaware of, and this was also one of them. And he had a question as to whether this was taken care of, because it's apparently they're going to join the Radnor Trail with others, and the question has come up. So yeah, is anyone aware of this situation, whether anything has been done about this? I didn't even know there was contamination.
Right.
So
What-
this issue was before the board
Okay.
several months ago, and one of the, it was a, dig it all up, the contamination. This was the trail over by the high school, or bury it for the in order to mitigate the harm. And those were the two options that came from the expert advice, and the board voted to bury it as the mitigation. It's my understanding that there may be another stretch that needs some testing. Don't know the result of it. That's kind of the big overview, but there was a long discussion at board meeting. I can't quite remember when, but you can go back and look at agenda items. It was
That may
arsenic.
have been October.
Was it about October? It feels like it was,
Mhm.
near the end of the year.
With arsenic, Moira?
Yes.
Arsenic. It's a natural source or from?
No, I don't believe so. Rail.
Oh,
I think old
Yeah, I
rail.
think it was from, because that was a rail line, and I think it was from the old rail.
okay.
Yeah, so the engineers discovered it, and I think it was discovered in some random testing. And so more fulsome testing was performed, and we brought in the experts for that sort of thing. So it was under the guidance of their recommendations that we made the decision, also based on some cost versus, and delay of project and that sort of thing. So when weighing all the options, we did go to remediate by, there's a special way. It's not just throwing dirt on it. I'm not the scientist and don't have the details, but we can look back. But
No,
there
it's
is another possible location. So we're testing, and we'll remediate as much as we can. Melissa, you might know more.
Do you know if that work has started at all?
No, it hasn't started yet. I believe what they said, they would cap it. So I think they bury it and then they put some material over it so it won't get kicked up and spread around.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it's
the work-
contained. I mean, I'm saying bury it, but they contain it,
Right.
in a very specific way, so it doesn't leach, which it currently could be doing. So
Mhm.
it's to contain it and remediate the issue, and it solves the problem from it contaminating any further, or and since but like I said, I do know that there's another spot that we have to look into. It's not confirmed.
Are those documents available on the board's website or somewhere else so that the public can review it?
Sure. Yeah, we would have to dig in. You'd have to, it's going to be listed on an agenda, so you can see the discussion in a recording, and any information about that was presented at that board meeting will be archived in the board packet.
Okay. Thank you, Moira.
Sure.
So anything else? Do we have any other public comment? Please raise your hand. Ron. Hi, Ron.
I think I have to unmute. Can you hear me now? Oh, no.
I can hear you. Mhm.
Okay, you can. So I'm Ron McGilvery, and I've lived in the township for almost 30 years. And I'm the one that asked the question. I had gone to about the arsenic at the trail. I had heard a talk about the extension of the trail by Bob Thomas, and he had mentioned it. And I just kind of wondered what process it went through to assess, what plan to use. And, if the Pennsylvania DEP is involved and how it was reviewed. So I really think that, and I was a little concerned that the Environmental Advisory Committee wasn't aware of it. I mean, if they're not aware of it, it seems like the process is not in place to share this type of information with the right people in the township.
Well, it was at a public board meeting. So in all fairness, we get more people who pay attention to the Board of Commissioners. So it was discussed fully at a public meeting. I will ask Melissa if you wouldn't mind sharing, maybe just with leadership here, if you can help me find the date that meeting and that discussion took place. We can provide the EAC with at least the link to go take a look at that discussion.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any further comments or any further business? All right, then I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margie.
Thanks.
Thank you, Marge. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.